Well, good day, good day. Welcome to another episode of Rob Report. I'm your humble host, Robert BOBTV Brown. How are you doing today? And yeah, let me put this back up. This was foolishness. This was a clown show. This was two kids in the daycare center arguing over the toy that neither one of them should have. You got two pathological lying, bigot, racist, with rape allegations. Now let me get myself up here. Okay. I'm gonna have a real talk to some of you people. You know, some of you people tend to think I'm a softy, and I'm gonna have to kind of set some of you people straight, okay? Everybody wants to dump on Trump, and he should be dumped on. But everybody who wants to dump on Trump don't want to dump on Joe Biden because they don't want to expose Joe Biden's weaknesses either, because we need Joe Biden to look strong in this to win the race. We don't want to dump on Joe. We need Joe to look stellar so he can beat Trump. And I can understand that. But to me, that would be that's false advertisement. Recognize your weaknesses in your candidate and say, hey, it's better than this person. I'm going to deal with these weaknesses of this candidate. This foolishness of this candidate. Don't act like these people are not. You cannot point the finger at one person and not look at the other person too. I understand. You got to do whatever you need to do to get Trump out. And see, I had to deal with some of this stuff today because, I got family members who I love. So I'm in the boat with a lot of you guys. And they going bodyguard hard for Joe Biden. They love Joe Biden. And look, my mama, you name it. My brother called me an undercover Trump supporter. My brother, my flesh and blood brother, said I'm an under supporter. If you don't push and stump for Joe, you're an undercover Trump supporter. Bro, I ain't pushing and stumping for Joe. And I could easily turn this around and say, if you push for either one of these you're a bigot supporter and a supporter of white supremacists. You're going to point the finger at Trump as a white supremacist, and he is, but not going to point the finger at this one. So I could turn it back onto you and say, I'd rather be whatever you want to call me than a person that's trying to put the lesser of the white supremacist bigot in the White House. Because to me, either one, if you're going to vote, you see, I'm in a blue state. Blue state is going to go all the way. They ain't voting for no Trump. Get out of here. So they're going to vote for Joe Biden. I can vote green all day. I can vote red all day. Joe Biden's going to be the nominee like Hillary Clinton. So you can't blame people like me who live in New York for Trump beating Hillary Clinton. You got to blame the people in the Midwest, mainly white men and white women who voted for Trump. You can't blame no black person. You shouldn't be ashamed. You black people who are shaming black Trump supporters, you need to be ashamed of yourself because they didn't cause Trump to win. It was white supporters, white soccer moms. It was white men, white women. They the one pushed Trump over. That little Mickey Mouse number of Trump numbers ain't nothing, maybe bigger than ever before, but that wasn't enough to stop because we still came out in the high 90% for the Democratic Party. And what did they give you in return as a result of that? Nothing. They didn't give you nothing in return for us, the House and the Senate. We came out in 2018 for the House. What have the House done for you lately? So don't be coming to me with this psychobabble, fake mess, trying to vote a shame and calling people he's an undercover Trump supporter and all that. Let me tell you something. If I was a Trump supporter, I would be a proud Trump supporter. I'll be wearing my MAGA shirt and my MAGA hat every day. And of course, I'm in New York. I'll probably get cussed out, get beat up and all that. But that ain't enough for me to go undercover for nobody. I ain't going undercover for nobody. Not you, and not you. If I was a Trump supporter, I would wear it loud and say it loud. I'm a Trump supporter and I'm proud with a MAGA hat. But the problem I got is I'm going against MAGA in the red and I'm going against MAGA in the blue. That's my problem. You guys want to push these two bigots into office, and fine. You're going to get one in the office. My thing is, you can't blame me for whatever either one of these bigots do. You get Trump out of office and put bigot Biden in office. His policies have been pretty much on the right-wing side. And when he started pushing that with a House and Senate with Republicans and Democrats who all love him with no opposition, because secretly these Republicans would rather have Joe Biden than Donald Trump, because Joe Biden, they have a long relationship with Joe Biden. Joe Biden is family. So they'd rather have him and rock with Joe Biden than Trump. The only reason they kiss Trump behind is because Trump have a certain base that they need. And the only reason Trump so tippy-toed throughout this debate on a lot of things they were asking to do, because Trump don't want to rile up his base, don't want to offend his base, because he know if he offend his base, he's definitely going to lose. So when y'all talk about Trump don't want to, and we're going to go over these debates. Matter of fact, I'm going to go through one segment today, and I'm going to chop them up in segments, and we're going to break it down. You know, of course, Trump ain't going to say nothing to the Proud Boys, just, you know, and just like Joe Biden ain't going to say nothing about Antifa, because he's going to say Antifa is an ideology. And it is. But there's groups of Antifa. There may not be a traditional organization, but they are a group of people who believe in anti-fascism and very aggressive and very brutal with it. And you can't say they're not. And here you got Proud Boys who they want Trump to call them out as a white supremacist. And believe me, they're a white supremacist organization, just like Antifa has a white supremacist organization. You know, when I say white supremacy, and understand, white supremacy, and I don't even like to call it, I call it white lamacy. It's a bunch of men who think they're above everybody, and they're really lame, and they're going to try to control the narrative. The only way to keep power is to get power in both parties. The only way to maintain power is when you have liberal white supremacists and conservative. To think that white supremacy is just a conservative issue is a misnomer and dumb, very, very dumb. White supremacy ain't got nothing to do with left and right, because there's left and right in white supremacy. That's how white supremacy maintained the total structure of white supremacy. There is no division. There's no Republican, Democrat, and white supremacy. There are white supremacists that are Republican, and there's white supremacists that are Democrats. That's how they maintain their control. There's no conservative white supremacists and liberal. Both liberal and conservative have white supremacy. White supremacy is just when a right race do whatever they need to do by any means necessary to maintain control of anybody but non-whites. I mean, anybody that's non-white. And they'll use money. They'll use intimidation. They'll use all trying to control tactics. They'll use brainwashing. They'll use propaganda. They'll use false messaging. They'll use incognito messaging. And you can find them anywhere. So for Alexandria Cortez, and we're going to talk about her later, to just call Trump out, and rightfully so, you called Trump out, Alexandria Cortez, but to shut your mouth up about Joe Biden? Really? Really? See, the problem that people got with me is I strongly believe that you can never change this country through inside partyism. Matter of fact, inside partyism is a detriment to this country. It is the reason why this country never really go forward fast. Partyism. To me, I take the route of Malcolm X. The moment we start detaching from these parties and we stand on the outside telling these parties, you ain't getting jack until you push the people's platform, the people's policy. Majority of people in the United States are overwhelmingly for Medicare for all. Instead of y'all standing on the outside saying you ain't getting elected until you make a commitment to Medicare for all, you're going to sit there and bow down and cow down and say, well, I guess we got to stick with, Joe Biden's public option for Obamacare, or we got to stick with Trump's fabrication lie of a healthcare program that he ain't got, and if he do, it's probably only one page long. because he can't think no more than one page. No, y'all trying to maintain the party, and that's why white supremacy that's why how white supremacy maintain the construction and the control of both parties. The moment they lose both parties, the moment they start losing power. That's why Joe Biden is cozy with Republicans. Now, I had to say that because you mad at me. You want to come at me because I'm smart enough to say and bold enough to say I don't like neither one of these people. And I think neither one of these fools, these idiots, these children, two old white men, bigots trying to maintain or fight power so others can maintain power. You're trying to cape and push for one of these numbnuts to hold that office. The office should be for somebody of integrity, for somebody of honor. And I keep telling you, Joe Biden is not Obama 2.0. Hillary Clinton was not Obama 2.0. Nobody's like Obama. And you're not going to get another Obama. You're not going to get an Obama coalition again. Joe Biden on every end spit in the face of his supporters. You got over 45% of progressives in the Democratic Party, and he's not really going bodyguard hard to push at least 1, 2, 3, at least of the policies. Now, in this session of the Rod Report, I'm not going to break down the debates. That's going to be the next few days. I'm going to take down each subject, and I'm going to break down and show you how much of a numbnut these two people are. All they did was posture and trying their best to dominate the conversation, and both of them look stupid. Now, I expect more of Joe Biden because Joe Biden is the elder statesman. Joe Biden has been in so many freaking debates. See, Joe Biden has been a seasoned politician who has been elected, as the old song says, over and over again. It's Joe Biden. So he should have been prepped heavily for that debate. I'm speaking, I think both of them was high. Both of them take Adderall. So I'm thinking maybe they was high and they just got in the mood swing or whatever. But this was ridiculous. I thought the Hillary Clinton debates with Trump was horrible. This is ridiculous, and this is just the first one. That's right. You tell him to shut up, Joe Biden. Tell him be quiet, shut up, close your mouth. Have you realized what you look like when you tell people to shut up? It don't make them look bad. It make you look bad. Even though they do need to shut up. Shut your mouth up. Be quiet. Do you realize as the elder statesman who's supposed to run this country having that attitude? You realize other countries was looking at us and laughing? Honestly speaking, that mess right there exposed us to being a security risk. And to me, that alone shows that neither one of these numbnuts are qualified to hold that office. And we should be doing whatever we can to remove both of them from the position because they both are a threat to our national security. Can't have no dummies and no old men, grumpy old men fighting over who get to eat the last biscuit from Hardee's with gravy on it. We can't have that, man. Well, who we going to put in their place? Well, definitely not the VPs. It's got to be a person who was nominated or people who got the most votes running into office. But that's not going to happen. Let me tell you something, people. You do not have to, don't you dare let nobody shame you if you don't want to support neither one of these turkeys. It's your right. And there's various reasons why you shouldn't. And I just told you one. These bumbling idiots are a security threat themselves. Both of these bumbling idiots owe to these foreign countries. May not owe money. Heck, Joe Biden's son, we're going to get into this stuff, man. I went over Joe Biden's son, foolishness that he's been through. You know, Ashley Madison cheating on his wife with his brother's wife, dead brother's wife, the whole 9 yards. I went through that foolishness. But when I start speaking the truth, you want to say you trying to look out for Trump. Oh, I go into Jared Kushner's foolishness, and I go into Donnie Jr. and his two sons. I get in on them too. Bunch of crooked con artists, rich white elitist people. Both sides. Everything they got because of their daddy. And here we are, people who have no privilege trying to prop up one of these two privileged white spoiled brat fools. But you want to call me because I won't do whatever I can to get this other person elected. I won't join your movement to get this other fool elected and get this fool out. Bruh, you do what you got to do. Count me out. Because I know that if I put my check to Joe or my check to Trump, I'm responsible to the foolishness that's going to come out of that administration. I am. I cannot complain about what Joe Biden's going to do or what Trump is going to do. Which brings me to this point. For you people who still want to spit, like y'all busting the rap, like y'all doing freestyle like it's a cipher, y'all still spitting this old cipher that, well, if you don't vote for Trump, you're going to, it's an automatic vote for Joe Biden. Republican, you realize how foolish you sound? You sound like that's that brainwash that they put in your mind. They do that as a Jedi mind trick to get you to feel guilty, and they employ people like you or people like your family member that might be doing it to you. That is a Jedi mind trick designed to get you to feel guilty for not voting for either one of those fools. But it is your civic duty. It is more of my civic duty to keep both of these fools from being in the White House. And the only way I can keep them from being in the White House is not lend my support to either one of them. Lending your support to either one of them puts this country in danger more than not lending your support to either one of them. Well, one of them got to get elected. Well, yeah, they got to get elected, but I'm not going to help either one of these turkeys get elected. You can do whatever you want to. My mentality and my philosophy is not yours. But for you to try to crap on me makes you look foolish. Because all the talking points that you spit out has no truth to it. Votes have to be tallied. In order to win an election in a state, the votes have to be tallied. Number one, I'm in the state where we're going to go blue anyway. So I'm not in the position of you who may be in a purple state, like Virginia, like Florida, like Texas. Texas going a little purple now. You have a different story. You might have to really hold your nose and go in there. But now, I might have that same thought process in my mind if I was in Florida. Hold my nose, go in there and vote for Joe Biden. Or Atlanta, whatever. Hold my nose, go in there and vote for Joe Biden. But the simple fact that this man created policies that directly affected my people, directly broken up the homes of my people, directly, not indirectly, directly, a long 20, 30, 40-year history of doing things, passing legislation that directly took our fathers off the street, got our mothers and mamas and aunties and stuff on crack, that allowed the drug war to happen, not only allowed it to happen, but sparked the drug war. And you gonna look at me and tell me I gotta support that fool because you scared of Trump? I ain't gotta support neither one of them. Know why? Because I don't vote for bigots. I don't vote for people who intentionally try to destroy my people. If you want to vote for somebody who's done that, go for it. You're free to vote. You might have a reason. I have a reason not to vote for neither one of these turkeys. And you ain't going to shame me on that. See, I feel I'm in a position of boldness. That morally speaking, I can't do this. I can't. I normally would probably think about it if I'm in a blue state or a purple state. I would normally be forced to at least think about holding my nose, going there and vote for Joe Biden. You never know who I vote for. Right now, even though I may say I'm not voting for him, there's a reason why I say I'm not voting for him. When you're in a position of strength, you never, in negotiation, you don't give up right away. You negotiate to the last moment. And right now, with black people being the savior of the Democratic Party, the lifeblood of the Democratic Party, the breath and life of the Democratic Party, without us, they die. Without us, they can't win no election. The Republicans will be whooping them left and right without us. So that shows our position of strength. So we as a people need to be standing on the other side saying, y'all need us. You will not win this election. Don't you dare think that you're going to scare us into that booth just to give you power. No, you want power, you're going to have to do like Dr. King did. What are you going to do for this community? Tell me what you're going to do with this community. Put it on the table. And if we agree, we'll get out and vote for you. Some of you people just give up so freaking quick, man. You give up so quick. As long as it's not the election day, you are in a position of bargaining. You don't supposed to be in a position of, I'm giving up and I'm giving you full support. No, you should always be in a position of bargain. You should always be in a position of strength. See, power concedes nothing without a demand. You will never concede power as a black community without making a demand. And you're in the greatest demand of all times right now. You got Joe Biden and you got Donald Trump. Both of them got these whack plans to empower black people. Joe with his lift every voice up plan, and that's just what it is. Claiming to be a black plan is really a lift every voice plan. White, Latinos, gay white women. That's not a black agenda. And here go Trump with his platinum plan like we some hip-hop artists in the 90s. Bro, you can take that platinum plan, turn it up into paper and stick it up your behind. Nobody buying that crap. We tell you what we want. You don't tell us what you're going to do. You meet with us. Your Pastor Scott does not represent the black community. Neither do James Clyburn. Neither one of these people represent. You want to know what we want? Come talk to the real people in the streets. Stop talking to your friends, whether they're in politics or whether they're in the religious sector. Neither one of them. Yeah. Oh, you bought into the narrative. We got to do whatever we can to remove this fool out of the White House. Yeah, you can. If that's your agenda, it's weak. Black people, do you understand that the Latin community is the fastest growing community? If they decide to be the top voter in this country, you lose your chance to empower the black community politically. And the only way you're going to do it then is hit the streets. But most of you too much of a punk to hit the streets. You're scared to get shot, and I get it. You're scared to go to jail. You're scared to get hit with a brick. You're scared that you might die. But would you rather be in a position of negotiation before an election to force these politicians to do your bidding in order to get the vote? Or would you allow Latinos or the Latin community to really decide that, hey, we're going to be the top voters. We're going to be the top getters. We're going to be the top people that go out and vote. We are no match with them. So the key is you got to strike while the iron is hot, despite the fears they throw in our face. And the fear of Trump is the fear that they throw in the face. The fear of white supremacy taking over the country and putting us back in chains, as Joe Biden say. You've succumbed to that. The fear of the Supreme Court. I don't even want to get to the Supreme Court. Do you realize? And Trump had that right too. And we're going to talk about that. Obama had a host of open seats for judges, and he was too laxy-daisy about it. Even when it was time for a Supreme Court, he wanted to play footsies and tussies with the Republicans to get a Republican nominated for the Supreme Court. Merrick Garland was not a liberal judge. He was a Republican judge. He was a middle of the road, Republican leaning judge. Appeasing to Republicans. But you want to talk about me being an undercover Republican or undercover Trump supporter. No, I'm just a person who tell it like it is, and you don't like it, and you want me to be quiet because you fear the truth will hurt your guy. And the truth need to come out so your guy can learn how to take the truth and turn it into a strength. You don't want the other guy to use the truth against you. Now, look, I love you. And I want you to understand, when you have a valid reason to say no, stand by your valid reason. They will tell you by any means necessary to get them out. I would tell them, oh, we can do this. We can get them out. If you say by any means necessary, well, here's what we need to happen in the black community. I want something for my people. You want to be the president. You want to win the House. You want to win the Senate. Look at this. Are you willing to push this? You want something. I want something. Let's bargain. Let's negotiate. Let's make a deal. See, they want you to never be that type of voter. They want to continue to spin fear like they did in the last election, saying the same old thing that this is most important election of our life. They said that when Obama was going against Kerry. They said that when Obama was going against John McCain. They said I can go all the way back to the foundations. And this is, every year, it's the most important election of our life. And as a businessman, when it comes to prospecting, I always tell people, say, you missed that one, but, tonight you got to come because this is it. This is tonight. Tell that girl, look, girl, tonight is the night. You thought last night was something. No, tonight. So yeah, this is the most important election of our lifetime. And guess what? Next 4 years will be. In the next 4 years, well, we ain't going to have another 4 years. Stop that mess, man. Stop that mess. The reason I'm on here today is I want to encourage you as voters. Vote your best interests. I will never tell you not to vote. You know something? There's a lot of people I'm voting for here in New York. I'm not telling you to sit home. And you know something? A lot of them are Democrats. You know why? Because I looked at their record. I can care less whether they're Democrat or Republican. I can care less about that. But you want me to care about that. You actually think the party represents. It ain't about the party. It's about the individual that may be in the party, but if I focus on the individual. Now, I don't care if you got a blue dog chance in hell or not. I'm going to give them a chance. You run for office, you want a chance. Why should I not give you a chance when you're fighting for the right things? Well, we got to get this guy out. You get him out. This guy is the greater good. And that's what I vote for, the greater good. And I'd rather vote for the greater good than vote out of fear. I'd rather vote with faith in my candidate than fear in my candidate. See, most of you are voting for Joe because you fear Trump. You're voting, the only reason a lot of you are voting for Joe is because you're doing a protest vote against Trump, Obama. You get mad if somebody do a protest vote against both of you turkeys, if they vote for Gary Johnson or if they vote for Jill Steiner, all that kind of stuff, when they got a right to. You're not entitled to their vote. If you want their vote, carry your behind down there and give them a reason to vote for you. That's how it goes. You carry your behind to that district, to that neighborhood, and tell them, what are your needs? What is concerning you in your community? Because I want to go to Washington, D.C. to fight for you. What is your concern? Trump ain't doing it. Joe Biden ain't doing it. Even with Bernie Sanders, with that phony commission that he got, trying to rally that stuff, trying to make us think they're rallying for that stuff. Here it is. One side he's talking about he's going to do this and work with Bernie. Next minute he's insulting Bernie. I beat the socialists. I'm not going to do these policies. You can never do that to me. It hurts that it comes from a family member to call me an undercover Trump supporter when there's nothing around me say that I'm going to vote or support Trump. Support me to hold up Trump. I'm bashing Trump and I'm bashing Joe Biden. I don't have to hold up one and bash the other. Who told you that lie? I'm bashing both of you. Both of you are bigots that don't deserve to be in that White House. Both of you are security threats, and the debate even proved that. You had two bumbling idiots running for the White House, man. Last year's one idiot and one smart woman, but she had all this baggage. And she felt entitled. And she didn't earn the vote. And she told Bernie Sanders to kiss off. I'm not going to make you my VP, which would have got her the nomination. She even far as said, I won. I'm not doing Bernie policies. Which also said, I'm going to run the Unity Commission and I'm going to run the DNC Commission via Obama. The very people I need to help me win the election can kiss off. I'm not doing none of those policies. $12 an hour, not $15. Get out my face. And it's happening again. Joe Biden doing the same thing Hillary Clinton did and expecting to get a different result. That is insane. But you're going to look at me because you got those insane people in your party. Trump them are way off the wall. Nobody even entertain. I don't even talk about Trump in my conversation most of the time because they are so far beyond me that they would never get my vote. But I expect a party with the name democracy in it to step up to the plate. But no, just like the white supremacists in the Republican Party, the white supremacists in the Democratic Party want to make you and brainwash you into thinking it's all about getting him out instead of all about getting them in. This is how it is. They want you to think it's all about fear Trump to get me in power instead of us pushing them to do things for us so we can get them into power. You got to make the shift to them. See, the way I stand is you can get my vote Democratic because I don't vote on Democrat. I vote on your policies. If you are going to care for my community and you show me how and it matches up with the things that are really needed in our community, and you tell me you're going to do that in the first 100 days, which you should, you can get my vote. Now, if Trump was to do that, would I vote for him? If he really genuinely meant that, but Trump is a liar, and Trump could come up with a plan, and I know that if he say it, it ain't going to happen. But the same way I feel about Joe Biden, that's why it's important that you vote for integrity. You vote for the greater good, not the lesser of the two evil or the lesser of the bigots. It's the reason why we in this mess now, where we got two bumbling fools about to take that office, leaving us a security threat. Joe Biden ain't got it. And Trump never had it. Now, Bernie Sanders probably could have been a little bit more, the debates would have been a whole lot more sensitive. I'll give you that. But I got my little issues with him too. My whole thing is power without a demand concedes nothing. The Democrats want your power, black people, but you are, and they want, and they expect you to give it to them out of loyalty. They don't want to earn it. Joe Biden thinks he's the king of blacks. He think he got the night. No, let me put it this way. James Clyburn think he's the king of black, and he feel he knighted Joe to walk in as his proxy to represent him in the black community. And Joe Biden walk around here thinking that he know black people when he don't. Well, he was Obama VP. Obama lived his life, most of his life, as a half white, half black guy, not as a fully black guy, living with his grandmother and mother in a bougie white suburba, whatever you call it. Indonesia most of his life, Hawaii most of his life, Kansas City most of his life. Went to Chicago as a young adult. Didn't grow up in Chicago. Didn't grow up with the hills of Chicago. Didn't grow up with his mama's on food stamps. Didn't grow up with none of that stuff. He grew up with a highly educated mother going to college all over the world. Daddy was highly educated. He's not even ADOS. He don't understand the plight of a descendant of slaves. And Kamala don't either. And I know you guys say, well, we need to get Joe Biden in there because we can get Kamala Harris for VP. Well, only if Joe dies. You do realize in the next election, the next person is going to be president, crowned by the Democratic Party, is Andrew Cuomo. Was it Andrew Cuomo? Not Andrew Cuomo. Yeah, Andrew Cuomo. He's going to be knighted. His book is already out, and he's going to use the pandemic and how he handled it here in New York as his reason why he should be president. And Kamala Harris ain't going to ever have nothing like that. Democrat is a white supremacist party. They don't pick and choose black people to run for them. They don't have a habit of doing that. We have to step to the plate and force their hand. Ask Andrew Gilliam. The Democratic Party didn't pick Andrew Gilliam. They picked Bob's granddaughter. Andrew Gilliam went to Bernie Sanders' Our Revolution Brand New Congress, and they supported Andrew Gilliam. He ran on that platform and won a landslide over Senator Bob's granddaughter. And had he stick with that template throughout that election, he would have beat DeSantis in a landslide, and he would have been the governor of Florida. He probably would have been a dope, meth snorting, philandering governor, but he would have been the governor of Florida. But because he smoothed in with people that independents don't like, David Wasserman Schultz, John Lewis, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, John Kerry, these people don't like these. The people that you need to win an election, they loathe those people. You got to stay away from those people. Anyway, I'm done. I just had to get that off my chest. Don't you dare let nobody shame you if you don't want to pick one of these two biggest. Now, I'm not telling you not to vote. There's people in your state that will push your agenda. You just got to search them out. Look at the website. Look at their policies. Look at their record. There's people from the state level, from the U.S. Congress, people from the House and Senate that may push your agenda. May not. There's some people from the state level, your local assembly, your community boards, sheriff, judges. They're running for office. I never told you I'm not voting. I just told you I'm not voting for those two turkeys. Most of the people that I vote for are Democrats, but I do vote for some Greens. I do vote for some independents. See, here in New York, Greens do get elected, just like they do in California, because it's about the policies with me. I'm not going to vote on fear. They said what you fear the most will greatly come upon you. That is in the book of Job. If y'all voting out of fear and you end up getting what you fear the most, that's prophetic. That's prophecy. The word will be fulfilled. What you fear will come upon you. You got to get out of this fear of Trump. You have to. Now, would a Trump supporter tell you that? No, I'm telling you now. You got to get out of the fear of Trump and get into faith of your ability to move your guy to support your agenda. You still can stand strong in faith and say, look, my community is struggling and suffering. These are the things that are must. If you can implement these things in the first 90 days in office, we got your back. But if you're going to sit here and tell us you can't when we know you can, bruh, we can't promise you we got you. Oh, they're going to have fights. They're going to have floor fights. But at the end of the day, they're all going to come together and vote for Hillary Clinton. How did that work out, Joe? I remember you said that. Talking big and trying to look big in front of all those people at the debates. What happened? Because Russia cannot overturn an electoral college. Never let nobody shame you about voting. Number one, keep your hands on your own nuts. Get your hands off mine. I got one vote. My vote don't belong to you. Number one. Number two, it's none of your doggone business who I vote for. But if I decide to vote for you, I'm going to tell you the reason why. If you don't agree with it, fine. If you think you can talk me out of it, fine. But if I have solid reasons, there's nothing you can do about it. And for you to vote to shame me, who are you? Shame on you. Shame on you for voting for bigots. That's it. Shame on you for voting for these lesser of the two bigots. The lesser of two evil led us to two bigots. How did that work? The lesser of two evil voting led us to voting for two pathological lying, bigot racists with rape allegations. Oh, Joe got them too. Donald Trump got rape allegations. Joe got rape. And see, that's what eat y'all up, because I don't see a stark difference between the two. Policy-wise, Joe is a little more crafty and more sadistic with his policies because he know how to get them pushed. Trump ain't got the brains to do it. He's dumb. Number two, you think you could just fool us with picking a black woman who did the same thing that that dude did in Kentucky while she was in charge in California? How she supported and protected race soldiers, white supremacist police officers that killed blacks without impunity? You want me to... Really? You think I believe she should be president? Yeah, man. Mike Pence, he in the closet. I'm gonna holler at you later. Don't even try with me. This election, don't even try. Ain't no way I would even consider holding my nose to vote for a bigot. Swallow my pride and vote for a bigot. Vomit it and swallow the vomit for a bigot. I ain't doing that for Trump, and I ain't doing that for Joe Biden. You can call it what you want. But for a person that does hold their nose and vote for a bigot, does swallow their pride and vote for the bigot, the shame ain't on me. Shame is on you.